What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 18 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, an episode with a massive number of battles culminating in a fantastic, very down-to-the-wire fight between Gulgast and the forces of the Poxmakers led by Kugath himself. Facing off against a counter to our own army meant that almost all of our army broke and everything was very severely beat up, and it was just magnificent. Actually, speaking of Gulgast, while I have you, if you leave this place, you heal a little bit less, but then there's no chance of catching the plague, so I'd rather hit Dreadrock with what you got. And, well, without Kugath there, I imagine you'll be just fine, assuming that these guys don't get like a billion million units up and running next turn. I guess we're just gonna have to find out. Other than that, I believe we're more or less in a new turn, and there's a lot of stuff to do, so let's get to doing. First of all, the Skull Throne. Ooh, we do have the control +5 for every concurrent war with the neighboring faction growth thing. Frankly, with the campaign heading towards its end, we should probably focus on growth as much as possible to get those rare few units that we don't have. Well, considering we have Regiments of Renown, actually we've had everything but Slaughter Brutes so far, so I would just like to get a Slaughter Brute if at all possible. Devotion Tithe, we do also want the post-battle loot, as there's a lot more buildings to build as well at this point. Though, I'm gonna say that this is probably going to have to take priority. We should get this up and then put it on cooldown, so we'll go for that. Much as I'd love the post-battle loot. And then Skarby, you're gonna head to Black Crag. Let's see what's going on over here. And, oh, right, we're not at war with you. Well, we're about to be. Black Crag, you are currently allied and with Creeping Death of Reichland and Clan Angrand. Huh, they're not at war with these guys? Oh, I guess they peace out. Interesting. Broken Axe and Creeping Death might get drawn into this. Do we care? We do not at all care. Do we want to call allies for this? I think we do, just by virtue of the fact that we may be able to get some... Ha! The Broken Axe refused. May be able to get some missions out of this, and speaking of, looks like none for now. Alright, sorry there. Let's hit Black Crag like so. And what do we have here? Pyrrhic Victory, though... honestly, this is probably not for Skarbrand's time. I mean, it's a decent amount of stuff, but 3 Black Orcs, but otherwise it's mostly trash and meh. I'll think about it. We'll move everybody in, and then I will consider whether to do it next turn. In the meantime, you guys will all have to reinforce. We do have Moxia Scion Slayer, our first Demon Prince on field, though frankly, I don't know. I'm not sure the Demon Princes are actually all that worth it, to be perfectly honest. And they've got a weird sort of... First of all, I note that they don't have the... I forgot what it was called, the raise stuff and thereby gain movement. The something of Khorne, not the mark of Khorne, but the thing that everybody else has. Blood God's Vigor, I suppose this hasn't been added to, yes, see? And this is already a major loss. On top of that, they have all of the same stuff. They trade Demonic Onslaught for the regular Onslaught that these guys have, but they also lose Heroic Killing Blow and Unflinching Soldiers that the regular units of the regular lords do, plus get a random garbage defeat trait, or a random garbage trait. Yeah, basically you're trading a worse army for a slightly stronger single unit and a terrible trait, or a randomized trait, mind you, but I mean, obviously we have one for fun, and they are fun to watch, don't get me wrong, it's just that, I don't know, it feels odd. Anyway, I'm gonna leave Eddie where he is for a second, I'll be depending on what we decide to do about Black Crag. Let's see what else we have here. Major Rager, I would like you to now occupy Occam's Forever Maze. Not resolve, you don't need to fight it again, though your fight against them was pretty good last time. Occupy. We have the Spare Skulls, and oh, we had Death Singer. A little late, but nice at the end of the day, I suppose. Do we need Demonic Lurkers here? Honestly, while the Tzeentch Corruption is up, we might. So let's leave it at that for now, and then obviously build the... Well, actually, it's a green territory, so we probably won't need the Public Order thing, but we will go for Trophy Racks, I guess. And I'm just going to assume that the... Oh, wow, the Tzeentch Corruption is not dropping at all? Huh. Go figure. Okay, well, once we take Altar of Facades, which should be in a moment. Growl the Blood Harvester, you, I believe, are going to go and raise Bitterstone Mine. I'm sure the Dowie will be real bitter about the whole situation. Like so, and auto-resolve this. And raise it for... 10k for sacking it, eh? We can always come back to it if we really wanted to. It's not that... well, 3.5k skulls too. Take the skulls. That's a good amount of skulls as well. Alrighty, like so, and then you can still move and go to Dragonhorn Mines, where that one I think will sack because it's got a better value out of it. Like so, we'll take damage, but there's nobody here to capitalize on it, so we'll sack you, heal, and then we'll raid, and then hit it next turn again. Like so. Oh right, you don't have the Healy guy. We need the Healy guy. Engra, that's you, buddy. You're the Healy guy. Go over there. Alright, and we may or may not want to put another Healy guy in there. Cultist, that's the one. Alright, you guys will need to recruit some stuff in a moment, but we need to clear out some armies before we do that. So, first of all, Mr. Arbol, if I can actually select you between all these frickin' heroes everywhere, let's have you go this way, and then raise the Burning Monolith while Pav reinforces, like so, and... really? Why does the Auto-Resolve hate Arbol's army? I get that he has some dogs and some Marauder horsemen, but good lord. Yeah, you can move in to reinforce. Please don't make us fight this. Still close victory, but at least nobody dies. I'm just gonna say do this, and then hopefully we'll heal up nicely. And we will... ooh. 24k. Or 7.7k skulls. I gotta go with the money. Yeah, Ruby Ring of Ruin. I think we don't need this right now. And then we killed in battle. Our mission successful, and... I guess one minor issue is that we'd want to then occupy it, or otherwise we'd have to come back, and we probably don't want to do that. Although, wait. If we go down to the Tower of Torment first, we would come back around this way, wouldn't we? In theory. Maybe we would. Alright, fine. You go this way then, and then you can... ooh, wait. Don't separate from each other. I don't want to lose Pav here. Or we could just occupy it. Just occupy it, whatever. Like so, and then I just hope that Boris's army is not gonna revive by the time you're there. Anyway, you, Arbol, will head then down to the Tower of Torment. Hopefully before these guys take it, we just want to raise it after all. And you'll be full health by the time you get down there. Eddie's fine, Bloodbound, and Bastion. Who are you again? Okay, so you guys are gonna make some deliveries, but give me a moment. Okay, so this is the important thing. We need you guys to take the Altar of Facades and then delete yourselves. Because... okay, just give it a second. Go here. You guys all have those capacities, and we just can't have those. It's annoying. You go here. And the Blood Harvesters, you can reinforce in March stance, I guess. Like so. Could be more than enough. Like so, and auto-resolve, we don't care about any losses, and then we will raise the place for the Skull Throne. Ooh, 20k. 20k is pretty good, but nonetheless. I'm gonna delete these guys. Torment Blade poison attacks, eh? Doesn't seem very cornate, but I don't know, call it some kind of blood poison or something. Anyway, much as I like these guys, okay, you know what we can do? Delete you. And delete you. And delete you too. Yeah. The other capacities don't matter, at least not right now. So we'll do this, and then we'll... oh, you have a Soul Grinder capacity? Alright, okay, wait, go out to the water. Just out of curiosity. Take a look at the Soul Grinder recruitment. We are at 2 out of 1. Now we wouldn't be able to build a Soul Grinder right now anyway, so we could just leave it at that. And then you, I think, are so heavily damaged at this point that, well, actually, if we do this, and then this, you might be viable for at least a few more turns. And we'll just keep an eye on the capacities. Anyway, the reason I wanted to do this was to send them all right here to where the Slaughtermasters are. Because these guys are probably going to be coming our way soon. And in fact, you will want to go back to the caverns now. Which will also need to defend itself, and... yeah, whatever. I was wondering whether it was worth it to upgrade the Dimensional Rift, but, you know, I may as well. Do you have the Public Order building? You do not. You definitely need it, though, because it is a bunch of yellow territory. Alrighty. Next up, with those guys gone, who's Tar? Tar is... oh, right, this guy's heals. You go this way. Another Healy guy. Alrighty. He wears Heelys. You... well, now that we have capacities, want 1, 2 skull cannons, and... I don't know, build a blood shrine. I don't know if we need another blood shrine, but I do know that we need more skull cannons and stuff, so might as well start recruiting them. They only take 1 turn, and oh, actually, we got 1 turn left of the Bread and Bloodshed. So if we want to upgrade or recruit anything else right here, now is the time. I guess we could grab a couple more Exalted Bloodletters to put into that little army, and just mix it with whatever we decide to later on. Alrighty, and then you, do you have any recruitment? Oh wow, you have barely any capacity. Here's what we'll do, delivery. I was going to deliver southward the Skull or the Wrathmongers. You... you know what, take these for now. Bastion, I'll use you as a delivery as well. And then move northward. We'll find places for all of these bully boys. Alrighty, and I think then, in that light, since Blackcrag is probably going to be the biggest defended, best defended location from the orcs, maybe we will fight it after all. Ignoring you two, and Eddie, you can, well, I guess you can leech to reinforce, because we'll probably want to sack Blackcrag anyway. And just because we will want to keep Skarby moving for now. So let's do this little fight, break through those gates, and tear apart some of those orcs. And oh wow, Skarbrand's losing all of his mana again. Oh, I am so sick of the mana thing, but anyway, go. Oh, huh, it's a very dark map, but with the red Khornate corruption, it looks kind of neat. It's, it almost reminds me of Chaos Dwarf territory stuff, between the red skies and the darkness and all that. But anyway, here we go. Blackcrag itself will be defending, though it's going to take us a while to break through that gate, and in the meantime, we'll use the Khorne's Bloody Fist to bring down the enemy explosive tower, while we await tower reinforcements, including our first Demon Prince. Now, unfortunately, the Demon Prince is going to take a while to get to us, as he starts with 64 movement speed. So, I think Khorne's Bloody Fist moves at twice the speed or something like that, so it's going to take a bit. On the bright side, though, Skarby has finally broken through the gate and is now making his way into the enemy's settlement, rushing through the enemies, sending many an orc and gob flying as he tries to close the distance with as many of the range units as he can to force them into rampage. There we go. Alrighty, some solid charging out of that, and he's got 60 kills and 8,000 damage just from that a little maneuver. Plus, he's clearing essentially the gate so that our other units can move on in, including all the big boys. I have rather been enjoying the 2 units of Jabberslates that we're using essentially as proxies for the Slaughter Brutes, just because once again, Slaughter Brutes being tier 5, it's like impossible to get them on the battlefield, and especially with the campaign running out of time. Unfortunately, when engagement drops, YouTube essentially deprioritizes your uploads. So for those that don't know how it works, essentially when you have decent engagement, the website of YouTube uploads relatively quickly, so it takes maybe an hour or 2 to upload your episode. But then once engagement starts to drop as interest wanes, which is normal, don't get me wrong, but what happens essentially is that when it deprioritizes you, it takes like 10 times as long to upload anything, which completely screws with my schedule and trying to get videos up in a timely manner, because suddenly it goes from an upload taking 2 hours to an upload taking all night or whatever, and yeah, obviously that's an issue. And that was a tangent. Anyways, I was saying we've been using the Jabberslates as proxies for the Slaughter Brutes, and they do fairly well at that. They're sort of a similar sort of unit. In fact, they probably get a lot more kills, or, well, maybe not kills directly, but at least do a lot more damage than the Slaughter Brutes do, just by virtue of their spurting bile blood. Anyway, the big boys have arrived and made their way through the gate, and it's a giant sea of orcs with our own giant units just towering over everything. Actually looking pretty darn great in my opinion. And the Demon Prince has at long last made his way forward. Our other units, obviously our slow-moving Chaos Warriors of Khorne, are still very much on the way, but they're going to take a bit to get here. Our Blood Shrine has in the meantime arrived, which is, well, actually not much faster than the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, but it does have the Foe Seeker, which we were able to use in order to get a little bit closer. And now, the Blood Shrine will similarly tower over the sea of orcs. And I assume there's some gobs in here too. There we go. I wonder how long it would take the single entities to kill everybody here. Fortunately, since Skarby forced all the archers into Rampage, we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, Khorne's Bloody Fist has arrived, and we're going to use it to quickly kill off the enemy lord since Skarbrand's busy commanding the other big boys. And fortunately, even with the Khorne's Bloody Fist being an anti-large unit, it should not have too much trouble against the Black Orc Big Boss, which loses about 85% of its HP. And I believe, there we go, with one more hit to the Khorne's Bloody Fist, and brings it down. Alright, the Demon Prince is here as well. And not that we need another big boy in theory, and the first of our units of infantry have arrived as well. And with the Slaughter Guard getting ready to cut the enemy down. Alright, tactically, obviously there isn't too much to say about this particular battle. It's a pretty darn simple one, just hack away at the sea of enemies. Although admittedly, with the way that Skarbrand forces rampages, that has a tendency to be the case, generally speaking. Alright, we will summon another set of units of Bloodletters first, and then we'll summon the Bloodthirster to join the fray. Oh, he's already on the field. The Bloodthirster is here. Here we have the Demon Prince together with Khorne's Bloody Fist. And there we go, the Great Axe of the Exalted, or the Great Axe of the Regiment of Renowned Bloodthirster, and the two gigantic single axes, although it looks actually more like two great axes here in the hands of the Demon Prince. All we need is an Exalted Bloodthirster and Skarbrand, and everybody together will be all these sort of similar looking units here. Alrighty, in the meantime, we did peel away our regular Bloodthirster just to make sure that it ties up those Orc Airboys. The Bloodthirster will disappear due to being a summoned unit anyway, so we may as well. Alright, looks like these two have taken care of the enemy range unit here. There are some more biggins still whacking away at them, though for how long remains to be seen. Melee units are not anywhere near the kind of threat to them as range units. Even a single unit of Arrow Boys or Gob Archers would be more of a threat to them. Even though they are taking damage, we've lost about 25% of the HP on Khorne's Bloody Fist, and oh wow! And it does look like the anti-infantry bonuses of then the fast attacks of those two axes are allowing Moxia Scion Slayer to kill fairly decently with 14k damage and 110 kills, and doubling that of the Khorne's Bloody Fist, but keeping in mind that the Khorne's Bloody Fist's damage is more than just due to the fact that it has been, well, that it killed off the enemy lord fairly quickly, I might add. And there we go, now I got a regular Bloodthirster, Regiment of Renowned Bloodthirster, and the Demon Prince all working together. I think Skarbrand should be making his way up here relatively soon, but the rest of our army needs to make its way through some platforms, which do take a bit. But on the bright side, I'm very much enjoying watching the Black Orcs get absolutely trounced by our monstrous flyers. Alrighty, and the battle is just about ours now, with the bounce power at about like 98% or so in our favor, just awaiting the last of the enemy units, these Black Orcs with great weapons, and the little unit of our Error Boys with them to rout. Frankly, I'm kind of impressed that they have not yet done so, but I don't imagine they'll last all that much longer. I would imagine that this is a pretty darn hopeless looking situation for them. And it looks like the Black Orcs are out, but the Arrow Boys are still in the fight. Oh, there's still the enemy artillery piece. Oh, right, it's doing that thing where it... The platform... the platform actually should have collapsed. It doesn't matter. Oh, there we go. The Bloodthirster runs out of time on the material plane and returns to the realm of chaos. It's interesting. Where the bloodthirster disappeared, it looked like the two or three, whichever number of Orky corpses appeared. Almost like the bloodthirster was summoned out of their corpses, which was actually kind of neat. Anyway, with the error boys gone, it looks like with that the enemy army shatters and the battle is ours. Alright, there we go. A nice little quick fight with lots of action for all of our single entity monsters. And I did enjoy watching the Demon Prince and all the Bloodthirsters fighting together, though this is really slow. I think if anybody needs a Banner of Swiftness, it might be him, even if Strider isn't really going to do anything for him. But yeah. He is nowhere near at the pace of Bloodthirsters at only 60 speed or whatever it was. Anyway, we will sack this place because we want to keep on moving. And it's a main settlement also, and it has a gold mine, so there's a lot of reasons to, basically. Now, unfortunately, Skarby won't be able to reach Iron Rock from here, which means he has to waste the turn, but it is what it is. So go this way, and we can raid... Oh. We're still in Black Crag? Huh, oh, whatever. Raid this for a decent chunk of change, and then one of you will occupy Black Crag next turn. I assume you'll be capable of it, even with the relatively minor units here. Name one of these Forsaken. Let's see. You can be Forsaken and Exiled, like so. I know I haven't used the Forsaken a lot in this particular campaign, but the reason for this is that what I like to do with army compositions is generally sort of not repeat the same sort of stuff, going from campaign to campaign, and generally speaking with Chaos Warriors, or all Chaos factions I should say, Monogod or Undivided, I pretty much always build my second army to be a Forsaken and Spawn army, because, I mean, you can go really far with just Forsaken and Spawn. They're really good for their price, and can be buffed up pretty darn effectively. So, conversely, this time I didn't go for that sort of thing, so yeah. Anyway, you know what, while we're here, we may want to do a few more names before we move on. Can't do just one. Your Untamed Savagery, you can be joined by lymphocytes, like lymphocytes, I take it. What else do we have here? Blood Shrine. I guess we do finally have some Blood Shrines, so you can be Wheels of Fields. Technically we've had Blood Shrines since the very start, but I tend not to build regular Blood Shrines as opposed to building Blood Reapers on Blood Shrines. It's just that because of the regiment or the landmark, we now have regular Blood Shrines giving the Blood Shield ability, so might as well use at least a couple of them, especially in the in this particular army, because that ability isn't conferred to mounts, only the units themselves, giving us at least a reason to use at least a couple of these. At least a couple. Anyway, what do we have here? Head Hackers, Coneheads, Blood Donors, Red Hot Pokers, B Positives, Arena Butchers, Skull Cleavers, and Skull Letters. Oh wow, you're all named. Okay, I've had a lot of Blood Letter names over the course of this campaign. You can be Tide of Blood, like so. And, this name did not specify a unit. Well then, I guess I'll name one of these guys. How about, we have Kernels of Khorne, we have Anger Management, one of these guys, Warriors of Khorne, you can be Bloodhound Gang. I feel like it makes sense because we have a lot of the dogs in this particular army as well. Oh, and all the dogs are named as well. Anyway, I think that's enough for now. Let's do a little building. Let's end the turn, and let's see what happens. Coast of Araby, we'll start with you. Trophy Chamber, always with the Trophy Chambers. Hellport, followed by Cultist Enclave, followed by the Trophy Rex. Land of Assassins, Wizard Caliph's Palace, yes, go up to the next tier. Broken Teeth, we can get more capacities for various Minotaurs, which is nice. Our first Cultist Enclave of Tusks. Not that we really need it. Doesn't really do anything. I mean, a little bit of skulls per turn, but we're past the point of really needing them. Trophy Rex, and... I mean, once we have sufficient capacities, we'll probably get rid of some of the stuff here, just to, you know, replace them with more Trophy Rex, but for now we're good. Mantorachnos, you... What are you missing? You have to prioritize the Skull Harvester / Jugger Plant because of the research rate that it confers you. Similar sort of situation. What about here? Sudenberg, wine. Bunch of drunk Khornates. I'm sure that'll end well for everyone. You need the public order building because actually your public order is fine. Oh, it's fine because we popped the endless whatever. So we still need the public order building here because when we don't have that thing up and running, then the public order in yellow territories is still gonna be, you know, iffy. The cracked land, we will go for the growing rage, which is what I was just talking about, and I guess start going through that jugger plant. And go through that jugger plant. Alrighty, good for you. Shifting Sands, Kasabar up to the next tier. Yeah, this is why I wanted that growth. Suddenly we're getting a lot of territories going up a tier. And that also means more jugger plants. Can never have too many jugger plants, as we've already established many a time. Speaking of, you have the trophy chamber. You cannot build a jugger plant, but you can build a Khornate calefactor. You, however, can start on the, well, actually no. You go for the trophy racks first, and jugger plant second. Spike peak upgrade for you, sir. Yeah, just do it. In theory, we could have waited, but it, you know, not a big deal. And then trophy racks for you. Yes, looking good. Not much more now in terms of building. Yes, more growth for all provinces. Yes, please. And then Caracate Peaks. What else do we have here? You are a green territory. We've dealt with so many yellow territories over the course of the campaign that I'm not used to having green territories on occasion now. Karakazul, let's upgrade you to the next tier, but then we will prioritize the Dark Bastion and Black Iron Mine over the other thing. Trophy Rex, and then two more. We got, the Fortress of Vorag. Yes to the upgrade to the Infernal Citadel. We want that Tower of the Bloody Tooth. And this is another green territory, so we're relatively good here. I'm going to say we will once again go for the Jugger Plant, we will go for the double Trophy Rex here, and then, wouldn't you know it, another Jugger Plant. Alright, the Burning Monolith. I mean, I guess we'll keep it for now. Decent likelihood that it gets attacked, but we will see if it actually does. Alrighty, the recruitment is happening, and everybody else, I believe, is good. We are waiting to deliver stuff from you. You're making your delivery. We will need more Wrathmonger capacity, but we don't have it as yet. Commandment available, we will obviously go for... Well, the Khornate corruption is good here, so we'll go for the Blood Tributes instead, and end turn.
I live only for slaughter. Perhaps one day I may slaughter you.
Perhaps indeed. Frankly, almost every faction that we start bordering, we eventually start attacking. But that's living next to Khornates for you. That's just what's gonna happen. Malagor's probably really happy that we decided to give him a little enclave right in the middle or in the center of our territory. And it looks like no further attacks this turn, huh? Alright, fair enough. We got more where that came from. Oh, draining winds. Oh, I'm getting real sick of all of these. We've had so many negative events, and this is not helping, but, well, what can you do? -5 per turn. It's just such a hassle to channel. Now, the Decadent Host destroyed by who? It's kind of impressive. Who killed them? Malice? Huh. Must have been Malice. Wow, good job, Malice. He's doing pretty good. Look at that. Huh. I guess he's pretty friendly with Norska. How does he feel about Valkia there? Well, he's fighting... Wait, isn't this Valkia's vassal? Apparently not. That's weird. Doesn't Valkia usually...
With one hand
you have no vassals.
with the other.
Huh. That's unusual. Okay, well, I don't know what happened up north, but it is what it is. You, sir. Who do we want to target? Grook, Roxborough, Rudiger Bachman, or Marrow Muncher Malbob the Starvin? What is his name? A Marrow Muncher Malbob the Starvin. That is a heck of a long name. I guess we're gonna take Rudiger. They're all kind of far, to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is. What is this? Oh, right, defensive target. Yeah, I remember that. I very vaguely remember that. Alrighty, what do we... Huh. This guy realized he's doomed. Alrighty, Constructor, Settlement receives Plague, Fortress of Vorag, oh great. And hey, we have the rewards for this coming up. Good, you need to deplagonate, which is already up. Also, let's build this while we're here. Alright, Winds of Pain. Oh. Well, I was just talking about the negative things, and now... Oh wait, but this is Power Reserve. Wait, Yeah, it's plus 10 per turn, so this counteracts it. Oh, fantastic. Yes, oh, beautiful. I love Winds of Pain. Drawn to Destruction, Monolith of Festerlung. You can kill whoever this is. On resolve. Why would it... Oh, right, he's on a chariot. I was gonna say, why would it damage the Exalted Hero so much, but... Yeah, admittedly, the auto-resolve hates this army, but I'm not surprised. It's the kind of army that the auto-resolve would typically hate, so yeah, it is what it is. Alright, and we'll auto-resolve again. This guy's probably gonna lose even more HP, but that army is done. And we're on the way to Dreadrock to wipe Kugeth out for good. Like so, and I wonder if they'll sally out and fight us. This is... Wait, actually, just to double check, is this a walled settlement? It is indeed. All right, let's give him a chance to sally out, plus make it a little bit easier on us to fight in the field, and then we gotta book it quickly back to Flayed Rock again. Huh. Hopefully Drajoath continues fighting the rats rather than moving into the into Goldtooth's territory, because, well, that's what I'd prefer. You, Skarby, are going to, I guess, raise Dreadrock. Oh, hello. All right, wait, let's see if we can reach you. Wait. We might be able to leech with Skarby. First of all, Eddie. Wait, let me get... Wait, do none of you have... Oh, wait, you should have Siege Attacker, right? Yes, you do. Okay. You, go to Black Crag. Alright, nobody will die, right? Yeah, okay, we're obviously not fighting that again. You can go into regular stance, and you can stay in regular stance, right? Mox, yeah. I'll resolve this. Nobody will die. And then we will occupy the place. And come on, did we keep that? Of course we did not keep the gold mine. Game. Alrighty, and then delete the war arena. Like so. Free slaughter, man. Then you guys, I take it neither of you will be able to reach Mr. Skarby, at least not this turn, but I'll start moving towards him at least. And we're gonna leave Moxia where he is and just hope that he doesn't randomly die. Alright, you guys go here and here. Skarby, I would like you to... There could be an argument for sacking Iron Rock because it has iron, though I don't know whether we'd have enough movement range remaining afterwards. Well, let's just hope that we do. Alright, auto-resolve for obvious reasons, and... Right, I forgot that the auto-resolve hurt you. It's okay. And then we will sack and stop moving. Okay, good. We can still reach the enemies, meaning we can bounce towards Snorko Ol Weirdy. Like so. And oh, he's got another little army with him. Huh. Well, you know what? We are not going to get too many opportunities to kill 1,000,000,000 billion goblins, and I think that we gotta take the opportunity. Plus, in SFO, never underestimate forest goblins. Whenever I played orcs, the forest goblins, despite being trash, cheap, tier 1 garbage, often get a lot of kills, oftentimes out-killing or out-damaging, well, actually not out-killing, but out-damaging black orcs and things and the like. Why? Just because of lethal poison and the fact that it is a damage over time effect. As long as you can keep them fighting, they will out-damage even heavy hitters. That's what's so great about poison. Granted, they explode if you look at them the wrong way because, you know, they're so fragile, but that's if without investments. You can, via investment, make them pretty darn strong line holders as well, and with scrap upgrades, even stronger. But anyway, I digress. Go.
Leave nothing alive. Rejoice in slaughter. Bathe in blood.
Alrighty, here we go. Actually, kind of an interesting little army composition with the giant pile of forest gobs, their lethal poison, but then the pile of chariots ready to do the damage. Granted, it's goblin wolf chariots primarily by the looks. Oh, they got some orc boar chariots as well. Actually, 1, 2, 3. Actually, they got plenty of boar chariots. Good for them. Speaking of the boar chariots, over on the right flank, we move Karanak to lead the piles of pups into the fight with the Khorne's Bloody Fist there to help out against the enemy large units. Actually, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed using the boar chariots. Granted, the orcs don't have access to too many other things that would fill the same role as they do. But I've never generally liked the unit, but last time I played orcs with Grimgor, no, not with Grimgor, but Gorbad. There was a battle against the... Actually, there were several battles against just massive piles, several stacks at once, of undead, and us using the boar chariots to just charge through gigantic piles of infantry was really quite fun. And it worked out reasonably well. Though again, Gorbad does have the advantage of, being able to use his abilities to upgrade those units a little bit further. But anyway, it looks like the boar chariot, speaking of, and the squig herds and whatever was on that right flank has been destroyed. Skarbrand has cast down the enemy lord, but, you know, that's a little surprise. While our Chaos Warriors have at last arrived in the main line and are busy hacking apart... Oh, those poor piles of gobs. Hacking apart those piles of gobs, and I note that the Jabberslythe does kind of match the sort of green color scheme, even with the green glowing poisony eyes of the piles of forest gobs, eh? Huh, I gotta remember that. Maybe next time I play Greenskins, or obviously Nurgle. Again, I do think that the Jabberslythe fits far more better in Nurgle lineup than a Khorne lineup, but we needed some kind of Slaughter Brute proxy, and the body size is kind of similar, so yeah. Although the animation maybe not so much. Anyway, looks like the enemy army is in pretty bad shape. The main stack has pretty much fallen, in fact, with the bounce power at about 85% in our favor. The reinforcements have arrived with the mage as well as another lord, but again, the AI has not invested enough into those piles of forest gobs to make them enough of a threat to the Khornate warriors, even with this being the halberd wielders rather than the twin axe. And what is this, Itchy Nuisance? No, that's Sneaky Stabbing. Actually, probably good that the enemy didn't use Itchy Nuisance on us. What's our melee attack at? Well, it's still pretty solid with the buffs. Melee defense at 49 is actually surprisingly low, but again, these are Chaos Warriors. And, oh, again, I'm not, well, okay, there are no Chosen of Khorne with halberds, which I know I feel like makes sense, but anyway, well, actually, wait. The Slaughter Guard are Chosen, aren't they? Pretty sure they're Chosen, if I can just find them in here. Chaos Warriors, Bloodletters, Chaos Warriors. Okay, I don't know where they are, but they're in here somewhere. Oh, wait, they're there. Yeah, they are Chosen, okay. But there's no regular Chosen Khorne with halberds. And what I was getting at was I don't want to overdo it on the sheer number of Chosen, because they're already pretty obnoxiously strong, and I'd like to keep at least a decent amount of regular Chaos Warriors, as they would make up the bulk of armies, well, plus Marauders. But anyway, with that, the poor little gobs shatter, and the battle is ours. Alright, there we get all those poor little gobs. They obviously got wrecked. We can take a giant pile of skulls, but I think considering we'll probably auto-resolve the next couple of little fights, we'll devour the captives instead, as it's worth a little bit more right now. The remnants of this army run away, but that actually works out nicely for us, because it'll allow us to keep up with the rampaging. So, you, Skarby, will now hit Baragdawa's bag, and you'll auto-resolve. Right, Comedian. I might have to manually fight this super quick because it's pretty... well, give me a minute. Let's see. Tavian, you guys just stay there. Major Rager, you have now taken Occam's Forever Maze and will now need to push towards Skullcarver's abode, but alas, you cannot reach it right now, so you will have to raid until you do. But that's fine. Poor Kairos. All that work. Taking all of these territories. And for what? Nothing, that's what. Alrighty, well, the funny thing is that Tzeentch would probably be tremendously amused by the Fate Weaver's turn of fortune. Alrighty, and you guys will... Huh? I mean, you can't merge. Why are you lying? That's because those other armies were moving it sometimes. Well, not sometimes, but when you do that, it doesn't let you continue. Alright, that's fine. Grawl the Blood Harvester. Now, I wanted you to raise Dragonhorn Mines, though... I mean, I guess you could still do it, hopefully. Hopefully you're not so damaged that you can't, but I'd like you to still raid Ekrund afterwards. So auto-resolve what remains here. That'll severely damage your army because it's incomplete. Then go for Skulls for the Skull Throne. We don't need to waste any more capacities, so we won't do the other thing. And then you can stay right here for a little bit. You... Okay, wait, one of you, let's say Bloodbound. Or wait, no. Ooh, wait, actually, that reminds me. Kagan Demon Tamer. I'd like you to go into Demonic Portal. I would like you to go to World Walkers, and... Oh, you're one short? Yeah, one short. I want those Skin Wolves. Alrighty. Combat Trials, back into it. You... Bloodbound, we'll go into regular stance, and you're gonna grab from Grawl Carnalit. Well, you know, use you as a delivery guy for now, and then we'll see. I want you to deliver 2 blood shrines, all of these skull cannons, and I guess we could actually temporarily deliver the exalted blood letters. And this has to go to... Oh man, and then that has to... I mean, I guess we could make multiple sort of sets of deliveries. Use these guys to level for now. You know what? If we deliver these, we will still need capacities for additional skull cannons, which... well, we do have like this. But now it takes 2 turns to recruit them. Damn you, game. I'm just gonna have to keep recruiting now. Alrighty, fine. Let's just take the 2 blood shrines for now. These have to go to a specific army, but with other units that are being recruited currently. And actually, that reminds me. We need to keep enough of a force here to defend against these guys' attacks. So do this for now, and then I would like you to get another 33 for Fireglaves. Damn, alright, actually speaking of. Do we have any missions? We do not. Alright, so Bloodbound. Just make the delivery of these 2 blood shrines for now. To Grawl. And you need to heal. Ooh. You go here. You will help heal Grawl faster. Like so. And then we'll need to check hero capacity as well. You're also gonna need some more. Okay, there we go. Slight increase. Can we pump that up a little bit? There we go. Slightly better numbers. And let's just double check the hero capacity. So we have Bloodright, which I don't care for, so we will take you out and keep milling you. What about the Exalted Heroes? Dripping with Blood is fine. Skullbelt and Bloodright. I don't care for Bloodright again. Like so, and then we'll keep an eye on you guys as we go. Alrighty, you, delivery, other delivery. In theory, you are going to go southward and deliver the 2 Wrathmongers to that other army, so I think we'll still do that. So, Wrathmongers. Like so. They're not going to be... Oh, you probably don't want to travel through this territory because it's kind of dangerous. Alright, go like this then. Oh man, it's going to take you 1 billion years to make that delivery, but it is what it is, just go. Do you have levels? You do. Go deliver those Wrathmongers, please. Hopefully we'll build some more, you know, to continue Wrathmonging as we do. Huh. Where are you going, I wonder? I wonder if they're going to try to reclaim some of these territories. Probably not going to be able to grab Occam's Forever Maze. Might even have to peel away one of these guys to deal with them. Huh. I wonder if we could land. Apparently not. Alright, fair enough. Let's see who's next. Path of the Storm Ravens. You need to make sure that you don't get killed here, so we will have you proceed down past the Monolith of Festerlung, while you, sir, move to the Tower of Torment. We will raise that, and then we will move northward to the Howling Citadel immediately afterwards. Like so. How are we doing here? Rank 6. Alright, so these guys are nearly getting ready to be Chaos Knighted. Bastion. You need to join these guys to deliver all of these Minotaurs.
Rest is a trial of its own.
Yes, it is. Alrighty, and the Slaughtermasters. I don't remember who you... Oh! We have a Skull Cannon capacity here? Oh, I didn't even realize that. We need more Skull Cannon capacity. Again, I really dislike the fact that capacity is taken up by these guys. Alright. Well, looks like our... Pike and Shot army should be ready fairly soon. And we're just in time to send them to the Empire, in fact, so I think that'll be appropriate. Kargan, Demon Tamer, you're waiting, and then Tar. Who is Tar? Oh, right, you're this guy. You're going here. Gilgas, was it this turn that we besieged, or last turn? It was this turn. Alright, just had to double check. Alrighty, and I believe that is that other than Skarby. Skarby, looks like you're fighting again, but by virtue of the fact that this place had the defensive structure, I think you're going to have to, manually fight this. And we can still watch the fight and make it cinematic in theory. Yeah, why not? I mean, why not? Alrighty, here we go again. This is probably going to be a pretty darn Skarbrand-centric episode, unlike last episode, which was very much not, since we were fighting everybody with a lot of our other armies. But this is Skarbrand's, what, 4th or 5th rampage in this particular campaign, and he's gotta get to work. And he will obviously start the day, but this time we are not moving in the big boys first, just to keep the battles feeling a little bit different. And with our Chaos Warriors in need of some good fighting, we'll send the Chaos Warriors in as the first thing. Of course, the big boys will move in and help, but I want the infantry to come in. Speaking of, here comes the Gorgon to lead the 2 Jabberslights in. The Gorgon, of course, with the big old cowbell. I mean, it's a gigantic murder cow. It's got to have a cowbell. I wonder if there's a lore reason behind the cowbell. I've never actually looked into it. But I do enjoy it very much. I wonder if it's more like... On the one hand, I don't think that this thing is going to be sneaking up on you, but on the other hand, it would be funny if the Beastmen put the cowbell on it so that they know that the Gorgon is coming their way, just to get the heck out of the way. But anyway, a big old brawl / melee down at the ramp, as our Chaos Warriors have first made their way forward and are now facing off against the piles of Orc boys and whatnot. Skarby, in the meantime, is actually just attacking the enemy platform, or trying to, but the piles of units streaming out of it are kind of getting in his way. Khorne's Bloody Fist, in the meantime, is going after that support tower. And it's just a good old-fashioned brawl, the kind, I should say, that Khorne does enjoy. Though I do wish that the color scheme of Gorbad wasn't also red. Is it me, or are there too many red color schemes in the game? And especially a lot of sort of red color schemes very close together, with Gorbad and Clan Moors and Skarbrand all really near each other, as there's a bunch of red color scheme units fighting each other all the time. Gotta at least distance them from each other. But anyway, looks like Karanak has moved on in with some of the Flesh Hounds, just the one unit of the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, as the others are, well, not crazy badly beat up, but beat up enough that I didn't want to send them in as yet. We've also summoned our Bloodthirster on the field, and similar to what we did with the battle at Black Crag, we will use the Khorne's Bloody Fist and the summoned Bloodthirster to attack piles of units together and away from the rest of the main army. Partly because these units weren't in the melee, and partly because, well, it gives these guys an opportunity to shine a little bit. And yeah, just considering how long it takes to level up to tier 5, or to tier up to tier 5 in terms of our settlements, I'm so glad that the cultists can summon Bloodthirsters, since we've been using them almost since the start of the campaign. It's just really a shame that there isn't a Regiment of Renowned Slaughter Brute that we could pop into an army. But at least we have these Skull Crushers and Blood Crushers, so there is that. And plus the Blood Crushers at least appear in the regiments, in the Blood Hosts, which we've enjoyed a fair few times. Anyway, the bounce bar has shifted to about 90% in our favor. The enemy's attempt to hold us off at the ramp or bridge or whatever has pretty much failed, though they have succeeded in still maintaining that barricade, which we are still attempting to move towards, at least to some degree. But yeah, the pathing around the barricades has been pretty iffy. I'm a little bit admittedly concerned with what the pathing is going to look like in 40k Total War, because, I mean, CA's never really bothered to help with the pathing issues in this particular game for a long time, and there's probably going to be a fair more sort of map objects and cover and stuff in a 40k title than there would be in a fantasy title, wouldn't there? But we shall see. Anyway, the bounce power is at about 95% in our favor now. How are we doing up here? Skarbrand has looped around to join the other Bloodthirsters. Without the Demon Prince here, we had to have Skarbrand move on in. And there we go, all the Bloodthirsters are having a grand time. And with all the rampages Skarby has been getting himself into over the course of the campaign, I don't imagine it's going to stop until the campaign ends. Him having a good time, I mean. But of course I'll be upset about the whole thing. Ooh, the bloodthirster has taken a fair bit of damage, but it runs out of time and explodes. Oh, that's summoned units for you. Huh. Wait, aren't summoned units... Oh, well, I think that's spell summoned units, though. I feel like... Unless I'm... Huh. Actually, I'm just now realizing something. When you summon a unit by a spell, I believe in SFO that unit, as long as you have Winds of Magic over 50%, won't start disintegrating. Like, you can keep it on field, but then if you use your mana for that particular purpose, they will start disintegrating. But then, this doesn't seem to be happening in the Khornate faction, despite the fact that Khorne doesn't use its mana for anything. Huh. I feel like SFO should then make the adjustment that since Khorne doesn't really get magic, it should be able to keep its summons on field essentially permanently when the cultists use the bloodletters and the bloodthirsters. I'm just trying to think if there's any reason not to do that. Kind of a misstep not to have that. In my opinion, anyway. Anyway, not that important, not like it's hampered us. The bounce bar has shifted about 98% in our favor. Even the Gorgon and the Jabberscythe have made their way up towards the top of the enemy settlement, and it looks like with that, the last of the orcs break, and the battle is ours. Alright, lovely. Quick little fight. I just wanted to make sure that since the Chaos Warriors of Khorne with Halberds will be punted out of this army within, I don't know, the next couple of turns, that they had the chance to cut some jerks down, and the Slaughter Guard did pretty good with 10k, 103 kills and 11k for one of these Chaos Warriors Khorne as well. Khorne's Bloody Fist, of course, and Skarby, as always, had some fun away from the rest of the units with the Summoned Bloodthirster, and overall, Khornate's just pretty darn entertaining to watch. Anyway, much as I'd love to sack the place, I think we will skulls it up and keep moving. Like so. Talisman of Endurance. Then we will hit Varanka Hills from here. And raise it as well. Then we'll use Shady to bounce northward, I think. At least I hope that's the plan anyway. Auto Resolve is probably going to damage us more than I'd like, but it is what it is. And then raise it as well. I was not expecting you to move this way. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. Chaos State for somebody. Okay, you go to Forest of Gloom then, I guess. Pyrrhic Victory. Okay, this one will have to be fought as we just keep taking a lot of damage. Huh. How much sack value is this place? 20 kits. Okay, how much sack value is Karazakara? Oh, can't tell from here. Probably a fair bit, though. Alrighty. That's Skarby, and I believe we can do some building before we keep moving. And just double check Tar. I swear I moved you. Apparently I did not, though. And then Kagan, you are waiting for your allegiance in order to recruit what you need to recruit. You're waiting for elves to come around. And that looks like the Savage Orcs are keeping them busy. Alright. The rest of that I'm reasonably happy with. Alright, let's do building, and then let's hit the enemy with Skarby once more. Another Jugger Plant, go figure. Huh. Wait, we dropped down in terms of research? I could have sworn we were already at 3, but we're still at 3. Man, Khorne research takes a while without tech thieves, go figure. Although, actually, does it? We're at turn 67, which is not so bad. I'd say in theory we're only just out of mid-game, but at the same time, I mean, Khorne progresses relatively fast, A, and B, we got long victory, like, on turn, I don't know, 35 or something, so a while ago, let's say. But, again, I don't like to bother to pay attention to those objectives because, you know, we make our own objectives. It's what I prefer the sandbox experience. Anyway, let's keep upgrading everything we can, and all these battles are making everything grow all that much quicker. I love it. You, Jugger Plant? What? Oh, that was the Jugger Plant. Fair enough. Then whatever the cultist thing is called, do that next. You upgrade Jugger Plant. You go for the Demonic Fortress. You Shifting Sands, Jugger Plant. Hopefully, eventually, it'll be enough research to quicken what we have left. Funnily enough, in terms of military, other than infantry, we haven't actually put any points, or we haven't upgraded anything at all. So, yeah, we could really use, I mean, in theory, some more upgrades of stuff. Go for the Forge. Ringo Corraz will upgrade you, and let's go for the Trophy Racks. Obviously the iron, and then upgrade the iron location. Then we'll go for Trophy Racks, and I guess we'll upgrade the Infernal Citadel, but we won't have money to upgrade anything else. Alright. Although that'll change after Skarby continues doing Skarby things, as Skarby does. Do as Skarby does. Or maybe don't, I don't know. Don't take my advice. Go.
Tear them limb from limb. Honor the Lord of Murder. It is our purpose.
Alrighty, Karanak beats Skarby into the charge, but Karanak is Khorne's best boy, so I don't think Skarby would dare to lift a hand or axe against the pup. Even, I mean, it seems like a way to get Khorne to punt him across the realms of chaos again. But anyway, I digress. Here we go, more fights against the orcs, but hey, we haven't been fighting orcs, I mean, really at all, over the course of this particular campaign, so while we have Gorbed, before we destroy his entire faction over the next couple of turns, we gotta enjoy some fighting against the orcs there. And with the black orcs on field, we can at least enjoy some units that will fight on par or better than our Chaos Warriors. Actually, that's an interesting matchup, the Great Weapon Chaos, or the Great Weapon Black Orcs versus the units of Halberd Chaos Warriors. Though admittedly, we are obviously at half HP in this battle, so we do have to be careful. We sort of blobbed up our Chaos Warriors so that they fight together. And this will hopefully keep them a little bit more alive, as we will need to continue the rampage until we're out of range of the next set of enemies. I gotta double check when we have our next Unholy Manifestation and whatnot, though, in case we can get Skarby's movement back up when we need to. We have, what, 4 turns remaining of the 200% XP gain. I want to use it as much as possible, just because Skarby is transferring all that sweet, sweet bonus XP to our other lords. Though admittedly at this point we have so many lords on the battle map that the XP, I presume, is being divided pretty sparsely. But all good. As long as it gets them up to their sort of basic levels, around level 12 and such, to get their unique lines and get just enough red line buffs and stuff so that the new lords can do their thing against or with their new armies, I'm happy. Anyway, the orcs are having a pretty bad time here. The bounce power shift to about 95 or 85% in our favor so far. Actually, probably more like 90. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they are losing, and losing pretty handily. Black orcs and regular orc boys alike are being cut down by the piles of Chaos Warriors, and where they are not, we got summons to help out. Karanak uses the Howl to get more Fleshhounds on field, and Bloodletters come in to help, well, if not so much carry the day at this point, just to add injury to injury, as is the Khorne way. Our other units of Fleshhounds, admittedly severely damaged at about 45% of their HP thanks to the auto-resolve, have caught some units of Boar Boys over on the right side of over on the right flank, and obviously waited to catch them in the trees where the enemy would be debuffed and we could surround and destroy them. And I do believe the bounce power at about 95% in our favor now. The units beneath the canopy have been destroyed, and what, the 2 or 3 enemy units fighting won't be doing so for too much longer. Frankly, I'm surprised that the Arrow Boys are still fighting, but that's the leadership's buffs for you, I suppose. With that, the enemy army shatters, and yet another battle is ours. Alrighty, there we go. I suppose the aspect of the auto-resolve hating us and constantly damaging our even super heavily armored units and all that is the fact that it makes smaller fights a little bit more interesting just by virtue of, you know, fighting at half strength. So, there is that to be said for it. We haven't completed Prophet yet? Okay, wait, let's see about this. Raise this and keep moving. Free armor of Khorne, 75. Where is... nearly there. Alrighty, you. Still have enough movement range. Can we get Akendorf from here, raise it, move to Shady, and then move to Karazakarek? Pyrrhic... Oh, you have got to be... Oh, wow. That's not bad. Man-Eaters, Iron Guts, Man-Eaters with Ogre Pistols, which are actually an extreme threat to things like Skarbrand and Khorne's Bloody Fist. Alright, and the million billion towers thanks to the huge buffs to Ogre Tower defensive supplies. Alright, I suppose we can fight that. I suppose we can. And what do we have at Karazakarek? Decent defenders, but nothing too crazy. I would want to occupy Karazakarek as well. Alrighty, fine, fair enough. Let us attack this then. Do we want to level? How many points have we amassed on Karanek? 11, alright, I think worth leveling then. You. I'll just gain another like 10 points over the next couple of turns. That's to reduce the cooldown and pray the Blood God for when he hunts single entities. Bestial Chorus gives us a second summon of a unit of Flesh Hounds, which is always nice. We always want a thick skin on everybody, and frankly, Brass Collar was just nice to reduce everybody's defensive capabilities. We will, or increase our damage capabilities rather. But anyway, speaking of defensive capabilities, is get kill and get you at least a little bit more melee defense. You rank 47 now on our cultist. Very nice. Although obviously he doesn't have as many points since, well, he's had points for a while. You're never going to do a lot of damage, so we don't actually care that much about Woundmaker or Deadly Blade. Let's get you thick-skinned for a little bit more tankiness then. And then you have 4 more points to play around with, so we could get your Woundmaker, make you hit a little bit harder, or I'm gonna say Deadly Blade. What about our Blood Reaper? Maim? And, oh, we actually, wait. We'll prioritize Slaughter next for the additional physical resistance. I don't think anything else is all that important. And especially since this one wants to sort of, you know, maintain distance with everybody else. Skarby, alright, you're saving your points because I still don't know what exactly I'm going to do with your final army, but you've just been... I mean, Skarbrand is his own final army, if you know what I mean. We could do a Skull Belt guy. I really wanted to put an Exalted hero with Skarbrand just to sort of help level the other heroes, just by virtue of the massive amount of XP that they gain, you know? Maybe we just do the Skull Belt one. Admittedly, the effect range of Headhunter is so short that this would probably never be helpful to Skarby. It's good for dueling, but otherwise it's kind of meh. Dripping with Blood is fine as well, but... And we'll do Dripping with Blood, just because I don't really want to wait for another one. Oh, wait, actually, no, we want a specific one. We want the one with the commander thing, the one that gives these guys the, yeah. Alright, fine, then I guess we'll wait. Anyway, Skarby, kill again. Do we want to maybe put you into summoning stance for this one? I want to make sure that we get those Ogre Pistols in combat and then locked in, go.
Tear every bone from their body. Leave only gold.
Alrighty, here we go. We arrived at Akendorf, and at least with battering down the gates, a little bit of a preview for eventually fighting some Imperials, assuming they're alive by the time we get them. They are doing pretty well, but there's no guarantee that they will remain alive. I think also another good reason to actually fight this particular fight here is the fact that we've been doing all orcs this episode. Oops, all orcs. And it's time to move to another foe. We'll fight some ogres here, which should be decently fun. Anyway, Skarbrand will break his way through the gate and will immediately take a volley from the man-eaters with ogre pistols, but he does have a trickster's helm on him, so the little bit of barrier actually completely protected him from that first volley. Only 28 ward save. His ward save is actually surprisingly low, but I don't think he's all that concerned. Either way, he forces the rampage onto those units of man-eaters with ogre pistols, at the very least one of the units, and starts whacking away at him while the rest of our units start moving towards the enemies. Of course, a lot of our units are now, thanks to the auto-resolve, so severely damaged that we don't want them in the fight, so we will send 3 units of halberds in. Frankly, I'm not sure we can keep the Jabbersights in combat all that long either, but we do gotta keep racking up that XP, as all of these units will be punted out of Skarby's army soon. Actually, maybe we'll put the Minotaurs in Skarbrand's army for a while, and because it'll be a while before their own stuff is ready. Ooh, Lead Belchers have drawn a bead on our Jabbersights and are actually doing some decent bits of damage to them, meaning we're going to have to counter them. Fortunately, we do have a way to do that, as Khorne's Bloody Fist has been waiting. I wasn't going to send him in the fight because the Ogre Pistols would probably just knock him out of the sky relatively quickly, but since the Lead Belchers are sort of firing into our flanks while we deal with the rest of the pile, we may as well use the Khorne's Bloody Fist for it. Alrighty, looks like some Gorgers have arrived to continue blocking Skarby off as he continues trying to make his way towards the second unit of man-eaters with Ogre Pistols. But otherwise, the Ogres are being minced fairly nicely and about to get minced even nicely-er. It's a word, by the newly arriving halberds, as we now have a lot more anti-large to offer. And some Ogre Bulls will charge in just as we make our way through the gate, so a little bit of fighting for the Halberdiers, but I'm sure they'd have it no other way. And frankly, our entire faction would have it no other way. And in the meantime, that pile of Lead Belchers has now been caught by Khorne's Bloody Fist, who goes over the walls and starts laying into them with his anti-large Great Axe. Unfortunately for the Lead Belchers, they are atrocious in melee, and with their 28 melee defense, admittedly they do have the disorientation melee attack defense -5, but it's not going to help them against Khorne's Bloody Fist. None of this cannon nonsense. Well, actually, I would say none of this cannon nonsense if, skull cannons didn't exist, but they very much do. And obviously the Soul Grinders also have cannons on their arms, so, And again, it makes me surprised that Khorne doesn't have any precursor weapon units for, chucking at the enemy as they charge in. Maybe some precursor weapon throwing axes on some marauders or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it could certainly work. Although, admittedly, if I did precursor weapons on a Chaos faction, I'd probably give them to Slaanesh. I feel like several of the Slaaneshi Marauder units could or maybe even some Chaos Warriors, could maybe use some Javelins or something as they charge in real quick. But anyway. It looks like the enemy is just about done here. The bounce bars at about 95% in our favor. The Hounds of the Blood Hunt have joined the Khorne's Bloody Fist, although the Lead Belchers are now out, and a unit of Iron Guts is pretty much the last thing left on the battlefield. But it won't be left there for much longer. Too bad the main defense was sort of in the dark, so it was kind of hard to see what the heck was going on, but at least a little bit of work from these two in the sort of brighter portion of this particular map. We'll see the Iron Guts shatter, and the battle ours. Only 43% spell resistance on the Flesh Hounds in this particular army. The way that we've stacked massive amounts of spell resistance, what are we at, I think we're over 100 spell resistance in our all-Bloodletter army. Granted, they need it more, but we could probably use a little bit more spell resistance in this one as well. Something to think about. Anyway. Alright, there we go. Nice quick little fight. Obviously, we went in fairly heavily damaged, so the number of troops that we were able to use was limited. Couldn't use 4 of our severely damaged Flesh Hounds, and we only used 2 of our Chaos Warriors, the ones that had the least amount of damage on them. So, though getting 7k damage is not too bad, and 15k on the Slaughter Guard. Again, unsurprising considering all the enemy large units around. Anyway, I'm going to actually say sack this. We can come back to it, and I want the healing. Axe of Khorne. Isn't that lovely? You will now go after Shady here. Blood Collector, Skull Totem. Hey, and there we go, we got Prophet now. And kill Shady. On a resolve. And then we will take the... It's not a lot of healing. Let's say First Truth. There we go. And then we are out of range of Cries of Craig. Oh, and we can't even raid it? Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate, but I guess we'll hit it next turn. Alrighty. Well, I wonder if this guy will try to attack us. And hello? Well, honestly, if Trutch Craventail stays there, we'll... Wait. We can raid. If Trutch Craventail stays there, we will most likely move to attack him as well. We'll see what happens here. I'd like his defeat rate. I don't really want to go into Trutch's territories all that much right now, though he doesn't like us by virtue of our alliance, rather, with the... virtue of our alliance with the Legion of Asgore. Minus 173, we, I guess, can't leave him there. I wonder if he'll try to ambush us. He's never going to get a better opportunity. Anyway, as I was starting to say, I don't want to go too far into the mountains because we've just made it to the border of the Empire. And of course, before moving into the Empire proper, we'll want to kill their oldest friend, i.e. the dwarfs. So we'll probably do that. But I think we're going to have to do that next episode because we are effectively out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. The only thing we've got, we don't really have anything left to do anyway, so yeah, we'll end the turn because Skarbrand can't move anymore. We'll keep taking advantage of Prophet to keep everybody leveling up thanks to Skarby's XP punting, and that'll make everybody sort of decently leveled, hopefully, by the time they get into combat, though I think nobody has any hope of coming even close to actually catching up with Skarbrand. We'll end the turn next time and have probably the last of the Nurglights out of Dread Rocks sally out to attack Ghoulgast, and, well, see what we can do with all of our armies being ferried around and all that. Stay tuned for more Khorne for at least a few more episodes. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.